Hi there, I'm Michelle Frost, the host of the Fit Mind, Fit Body podcast. Welcome to the Delirious West series, where we follow everyday runners preparing for the Delirious West 100 and 200 mile events in April 2025. In today's update, we'll check in with one of our athletes to hear how their training is progressing, the challenges they're facing, and the victories that keep them moving forward. Whether you're training for your first ultra or simply enjoy inspiring stories, you're in the right place. Let's dive in and see how our athlete is doing this month. Today on Fit Mind, Fit Body, we are checking in with another of our wonderful Delirious athletes just to see how they're going on their path to the start line. Stuart Rainbow, hello.
Hi, Michelle. How are you going?
I'm great. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic, thanks. Busy. It's hot here in sunny Melbourne, going for a lazy 35 degrees today. So it's warm. It's been
That's
very
why it's warm
warm
here, I think. Like, it's probably 25 here, but that's why it's warm, because it's warm for you.
That's right. Well, 25 degrees in Tassie. I mean, you might as well go outside and work the tan. That's extraordinary stuff.
It's terrible.
But no, it's been good. And the weather, I'll tell you what's been nice. Really, it's been nice to wake up here in the Yarra Valley, the beautiful Yarra Valley, winery capital of the world.
Sorry. West Tamer.
Yeah, I know.
Winery.
Yeah, and all the people in Adelaide saying the Barossa, and then you got the WA people saying, Margaret River. Anyway, it's been nice to wake up, Michelle, and actually have some fog, some cold weather, put the compression pants on again. It's been really good. So just a nice bit of change of weather. The leaves have started to change in Melbourne now, starting to get that nice bit of red, brown on the leaves, and still getting a little bit of that tail end of the summer because it's been a really, really hot summer this year as opposed to last year. But, it's all going well.
And your training is going well. Like, obviously, you're getting to see these changes of season because you're outside a lot and in nature.
I am. Yes. I love where I am. Quite fortunate to live, obviously, in the Yarra Valley amongst the hills. The training is going along really well. We're coming up to, our peak period this week, actually. So coming up to a nice 12-hour run that Coach Brian has got me to do this weekend. Just obviously things are starting to ramp up now, and it's all getting very close, Michelle. I mean, hey, 6 weeks today.
Well, that's what I was just checking. Today. It seems to have dropped off my watch. So
your watch is frozen.
Yeah. Well, no, my watch is fine. It just has not got the delirious countdown on it anymore. Maybe it doesn't want to frighten me.
Maybe. It could be user error as well. Maybe, possibly.
Stop that. No. For my age, I'm quite techie.
Exactly. No, you are. I'll give you that. 6 weeks. I mean, let that sink in. Wow. I still got to get everything sorted. I still got to pack. Michelle, I think you had a little parcel there you've just got as well.
Yes. Thank you for not letting me forget. Everybody who's listening and not looking, I was rushing to get here, had some other things I was doing before our call, but I did have time to stop at the mailbox and get the mail. And it is something to do with Delirious. Like, as I said to you, everything that we are getting in the mail at the moment is Delirious related, Stuart. I don't know about you, but I seem to have done an enormous amount of shopping.
Credit card's taken a hit. Yeah,
it has. This has come actually from Western Australia.
Oh, Bix.
It is. So it's my electrolyte from Bix, and I've had. I should actually know his name off the top of my head, because I've had the guy who started Bix on my podcast years ago as well. Yep. So.
Oh, fantastic!
Look, and I didn't order this, but I've got a cap.
Oh, lovely.
And I was just thinking I need a cap. I don't know about you, I've been doing this because every time I talk to people on the podcast, it's have you got this? Have you got that? And you'll need more than one of whatever all of the things are. And it's like, I need to buy more shoes.
Definitely need to back
more shoes, more bras, which is probably you don't have to worry about. But
not yet. Maybe maybe after Delirious I might. Yeah.
Extra socks.
Socks.
It's just getting a little crazy at my shopping.
I just ordered 3 extra socks the other day. Yeah, absolutely. So, funny thing. First of all, fantastic by Bix to throw that cap in for you. Obviously, a little plug here, Michelle. I'm sure no one is aware, but if they buy that Bix, Hydrolytes, they're going to throw in a free cap, which is good at Bix to everyone. Is that right?
I have no idea, but I've got it. So there you go. I'm happy. It looks like
fantastic.
It looks really breathable too, and a cool little thing in the back here to tighten it, rather than your Velcro or your sort of clasp. This is kind of cool. I like that. Okay.
So for anyone, if they see a bright yellow hat in front of them during Delirious West, that is going to be Michelle. So trot on up towards her and say hello during the race.
What a plug!
In terms of shopping, yeah, absolutely.
What have you been doing?
Well, I've ordered a heap of blister prevention gear, and by blister prevention gear, you're giving me a thumbs up as well.
I have a bar. Keep going. I've got a bone to pick with you. Keep going.
With me, okay. I think I know what you're going to say. Anyway, heap of blister prevention gear, and by blister prevention gear, I mean premium stuff. So, have I tested before? No, I haven't. Did I pay top dollar for it? Yes, I did. That probably makes it premium in my side of things. My daughter last night had a big blister on her foot. She got it this weekend from wearing her mum's Birkenstocks around. Okay, so obviously she's got a bigger foot than Beck's foot, and she suffered the consequences. Yes. Last night, here comes Nurse Stu running in. It's all right, Taya. I'll fix you up. Here's the test run. Anyway, I've got these blister little packs. They come in 6, and they're not cheap. They're like $14 for 6 or something, right? Mm. And they've got this little plaster thing that goes around it, and it went on really well. So I've got them. I've got stuff for blisters that you put on before the blister breaks. I've got specific stuff that if the blister does break, you put it on. Yes, similar to that. Blister patches. Look at you. You've got all this stuff under the desk there or something. You've got Dickie Nee down there just handing you stuff.
Another thing that came in the post.
I love this. Fantastic.
But it's your fault that it came in the post. I've got to tell you.
Okay. So, I've spent a lot on that. I've actually, to be honest, I've probably spent $200 plus on that sort of stuff. It's not cheap. I've got blister wool. I've got other foam sheets. You've got that as well?
I got them
all. So, what else? Oh, so how's this, right? So I told you about the last 2 pairs of shoes I found in the world. Still haven't broken them in yet. Did a long run probably a couple of weeks ago. Went really well. Ended up with about, I think it was about 26 Ks and about 800 metres of elevation gain.
Yeah.
Finished the day off, felt fantastic. How good's this? One of those great runs you finish off. You're like, oh, this is great. Got home, took my shoe off, still in the back, and then there's a blister coming up. I'm like, you what? Because I don't normally get them, right? Normally. And it's been quite hot. Yeah, right, yeah. Anyway, I was like, what is going on here? And looked at my shoes, and with the Garmin app, Garmin Connect, you can actually put in what sort of shoes you've got.
Yeah.
So my other shoes, they just needed to last me the end of this month. And anyway, they haven't. They did 900 and I think it was 57 Ks. Wow. There's a lot of Ks in the shoes.
It is.
And the soles are like, sort of half an inch thick. They're big nowadays on the trail running shoes, as most of us know.
Yeah.
And they were just flat. And I had a bit of a sore knee that day going up and down. Spoke to Coach Brian, and he said, look, that may be the reason why I got it, because I was sort of going uneasy up the hills, like you sort of, lean a different way.
Change your mechanics a bit.
Change your mechanics, exactly. So anyway, I haven't touched them since, because I'm like, I'm not wearing them anymore. That's it. They're dead to me, right?
Not having a blister.
So I went down to the shop. I've got a new pair of shoes. They're Hogers. I'm not normally a Hoger person. I've been good. I'm surprised. I just needed something to get me through this next month before I break out
the other two.
Yeah. Now, before this, right, I'm a New Balance guy, right? So I had New Balance Hieros, and these other ones I'm running are called New Balance Trails More. Mm-hmm. Anyway, New Balance, as we know, that every year they, change their models or supersede it. They've got rid of both the models and combined the two of them, right, to become this one superpower, right?
Sure.
And anyway, so I got this call the other day from Beck at the running company in Lilydale. She's wonderful, Beck. She's actually my old coach. And she runs, a lot of people know her around the valley, incredible runner. And she said, listen, we just had these come in. Do you want it? And I said, do you have in my size 12? She says, yes. I said, all right, well, I'll take 2 to test out. She goes, well, we've only got 1. I said, all right, well, we'll just wait for 1. So they're brand new and they're not getting any more till next month. So I'll test it out. But the issue I've got is I don't know whether I'll test it out. I don't know whether to keep that shoe and wear it for Delirious. And then run my gaiters around, with the Velcro around that one, or use the ones that I was going to use. So it's going to be a good test, but there's another $250 plus the 3 new pairs of socks,
just to test.
$35 each, just to test. Yeah, it's not cheap, this stuff, is it? All for what we sign up for is just to go through pain, and go through this, but. Listen, we love it, and that's why we're here, right? So, and it's healthy and it's good fun. It's one heck of an adventure. So, and look, as your intro says as well, and when you finish it, it is about the journey of getting here. So,
exactly.
It's all part of it. But certainly been spending a lot. Now, I've been spending a lot of money on food at the moment because I'm coming into my peak period. I am an absolute pig. I cannot stop eating. I eat, Michelle, and I eat and eat and eat. I can't get full, right?
You're fueling those muscles so they're ready to carry you for 340 kilometres.
I'm a bit annoyed. I reckon I put on a couple of kilos just from eating so much. But, there's a little donut. I'll have myself a little donut. So, smashing milk. Look, there's another. I just had a little milk before I got on there.
Look at you.
But I do enjoy that. And coming up to this part of the training now, and you're probably the same, Michelle, you get up to, you go, I'm going to go for 20, 30 Ks now, and it doesn't seem so bad.
No, it doesn't. That is funny. It is funny. When my coach said to me a couple of weeks ago, this is a 100K week. You've got to get 100 Ks in your running and hiking. So it's not all, she doesn't always prescribe, it's not 100 Ks of running, it's 100 Ks of running or fast packing, she calls it. So, but I love that challenge. And when I got to the end of it, I was tired, but my body felt like it wanted to keep jogging. Is that kind of, that feeling? It kind of felt itchy. And I went, I suppose that's actually good. That's what I should be feeling like.
That's fantastic. The walking part, obviously I haven't finished it yet, but you just can't, you do so much of it anyway. So incorporate it in your training, get used to it. So. Yeah, it's good. And you talk about the body getting used to it. Like I'm finding now that, even around the house, I'll go for a little jog around the house or whatever. I'm almost like a dog in a cage. We just want to get out. I've got so much energy and you can just feel the body getting stronger and the legs getting stronger. But in saying that, I do have one little knee issue, which is my left knee. And I go for a run, I come back. And then when I go up the stairs, I've got a lot of stairs in my house. It just feels like it's a bit swollen and tight around the knee. It gets swollen.
In the front or behind? Whereabouts on your knee?
It's sort of on the side, but then sometimes it feels below it. I don't know. It does its own thing. It's got a mind of its own, I think. But nothing a couple of my friend Mr. Voltaren can't fix. So smash down a couple of them and it seems to help. But look, it was all right, and then obviously as the training's ramped up, I can just feel it after trainings. Yeah. Then I get out in the morning and it's fine again.
Yeah.
I dare say at some stage that will come to greet me during the race.
Yes.
But look, it is what it is. I mean, we're all going to have those some little niggly injuries, I imagine, coming into the event, much as we don't want it to.
I know.
But there's been plenty going on, Michelle. So how much have you spent lately? I mean, what else have you bought?
At least my husband never listens to the podcast, so he won't find out.
Good idea. Yeah.
I did get 2 more pairs of shoes, but I'm actually an eclectic shoe person, as in mine are mostly all different brands.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So once it was funny, I had to start this podcast to really be convinced that I should cycle through shoes. And so once I got permission from all of my guests that, yes, that's a good idea, you should cycle through shoes, I took that on as a real as a challenge, that not only should you cycle through, the same shoe over and over again, you should have different types of shoes, because then that's using different muscles in your, it's getting your feet to be accustomed to different styles and things like that. So I actually have, I think, 3 or 4. I will have 5 pairs for the race, and they're all a different brand of trail shoes. So we will see. We will see how it goes. I don't have Hoka's. I almost got Hoka's. I've got Salomon and Tarkline, and actually even have a really old Reebok pair that my daughter had that she didn't really use, and she gave them to me, and I've almost worn them out. Like, I would never have bought them for myself. It's funny kind of thing. So I've got
old trusties.
Yeah, and they're quite good. But I thought they'll be good to have as a, just in case.
Will they go to the tree? Maybe Jeff's tree.
They might do. Yeah. Although I've got a really old pair of Salomon, I thought I'd bring along, which I've used, worn out, really worn out. Anyway, a couple of other brands. So got those. Obviously, the socks, and you just saw the electrolyte. I've also bought myself another 2 pairs of good sunglasses, because I was worried about those, because they get scratched, mind you. So there's those, and I've also got cables for my phones, like spare ones for my watch and for my headphones, so that if we lose one cable, we might. So I just got some replacements, because those things that usually don't cost very much, but if you don't have them, it's like if you lose one, it's a pain in the butt. So those sort of stuff.
Nowhere.
I got the Blister stuff.
So why did you get the Blister stuff?
So I'm down in Hobart on this lovely weekend with the family, with the extended family, in a posh hotel, and we'd been out eating and drinking all weekend. It was lovely, just with a couple of the grown-ups, my mother-in-law.
Being merry,
It was, it was a lovely long weekend away. And so it was I said, look, honey, because we had a few hours before we were going to go to sleep. So, Stuart's got this video about shoes. Should we have a look at it? I'm like, I'll have a look at it. I don't want to go to sleep just yet. So I turned it on in this kind of relaxed mode. And by the time I'd finished watching most of it, where I didn't fast forward some, because I'm like now feeling really nervous. I was like, blisters. I've got to make sure I've got blisters, because I get blisters every now and then, different reasons, like especially terrain. I don't know if it's always shoe focused. Sometimes it is, but a lot of it I think is that terrain. Your toes end up in the front of your shoe box, and so I've been also very diligent about memorizing the heel lock lace things too, to try and keep my feet so that I don't get that blister. I've got a what do you call it, a bunion on one of my feet, which always causes a blister under my big toe, like not on the side of my foot there. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to let that stop me. And now I've seen Stuart's video and how I like and then I talked to our podiatrist, not our podiatrist, but I talked to what's his name, our other one of our athletes. Why is it?
Glenn.
I talked to Glenn.
Yeah, he is a podiatrist. Yeah.
He's a podiatrist. Yeah. And actually maybe even might have been Gabe who suggested these, but then I also talked to Glenn about them as well. But it all because of watching your video. So these are really, I've put some in the inside. This is just anyone who doesn't know, because they can't see. These are the Engo blister patches, and you line your shoe in different parts of your shoe, and it makes it a bit like Teflon. That's how I've been describing it, so that there's a lot less friction. And the people who sell it, it's just called blisterprevention.com.au. She's got lots and lots of videos, and you might even have bought stuff from there. Like, I have been watching her videos, which is more about, blister prevention, but also how to treat blisters and getting blister packs. And the look on your face, you obviously know exactly what I'm talking about, but that's where I got
correct. That's my delivery coming today. Well, the second delivery anyway.
What are you getting from there?
Well, that blister stuff I talked about. So blister prevention. It's actually blister-prevention.com. Okay,
we should put a link. We should put a link.
Good idea. Yeah,
we'll put a link. Very, very useful. And Glenn, the podiatrist, also said yes, they are awesome. So
yeah, I think she's based in Sydney. So
great educationally to learn about blisters, prevention and treatment. Fantastic resource, I think. Not just buying the products that are there, but which actually reasonably be priced. You can't buy them any cheaper anywhere else. So yeah.
Anyway. And obviously it's better than the stuff you can buy. Well, obviously that I learned the hard way off the shelf from chemists and that sort of stuff. I mean, last year, right? So I didn't want to. And obviously you've seen the video. I didn't want to see it. It was, for me, it was out of sight, out of mind, right? And I actually carried that for like over 180 kilometres. And what Beck had done is she put a blister band-aid on it, but it actually made me walk on, because I was on the ball of my foot, and it actually made me feel like I had to walk like almost like wearing high heels. I guess it was similar because it was making my feet pitched, like my heel pitched.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you want the right gear. And you talk about the bunion on your foot as well. I'd certainly be looking at putting some blister wool on that.
What did blister wool? Yes. So
yeah. So yeah, it's obviously, look, at the end of every event, I don't know how long you followed Delirious for. Obviously, I've followed it for a few years now. They normally put up, I think they call it blister porn or something like that at the end of it, where they put up the shots of blisters. You know what I mean? At the end, and I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people obviously get them. I mean, when you're doing 300 plus kilometres for an event, there's going to be shit go wrong with everyone's feet or some people's feet. So. Yeah, so we got to be prepared, right? So, and we've got to be hopefully ready for this stuff. So.
Is that what you're mostly worried about, blisters, or are there other things that or are you just not worried about it? You're just going to be prevention?
Look, honestly, the event did humble me last time. I was always, as I said, it's my first DNF, and I was always confident going in, but Delirious is such a beast of an event, and I never would have thought that would have happened to my feet, where I physically just could not go on. I think I was naive as well. I didn't do enough research into the event. I didn't want to jinx it because it was such a big build-up. That was my fourth year of wanting to complete it. I've only obviously tried to complete it once.
Yeah.
4 years since I've tried to do it with COVID and everything else. And my ACL injury. And then, obviously the sand, I mean, there's not just sand on the beaches, it's sand everywhere in WA. So I was certainly naive not to be prepared for that. Like I didn't even have gaiters until...
That's the extra thing I've bought, gaiters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hats with them. I think maybe watching your videos made me think of that, like the safari tight hats.
Yeah,
because for sunburn and stuff on your neck and shoulders, stuff.
Yeah, so hopefully it's a little bit cooler this year. That'd be nice. If it's, I think I looked it up the other day. I think the average might be 22 or 24 degrees, as in the high. For you. But at least it won't be in the 40s like last year, which was just insane. No. So I think that might help out quite a bit. But interesting to hear the numbers as well this year. I heard your podcast with Sean the other day. I thought that was fantastic, and like 150 odd almost between the 200 milers and the 100 milers. So there's going to be quite a lot of athletes out there, which would be fantastic people. So
awesome.
I found myself literally walking on my own so many times last year. And at night, your mind plays tricks on you, and it's just crazy. But can you believe this, right, Michelle? In 6 weeks' time, right? Now, we'll be underway, right? But say in the morning we come up. You're going to wake up in the morning, right? You're going to go to that start line. You're going to have a moment of, anxiousness, nervousness, excitement, you know what I mean? Bit of courage, whatever. And you're going to think to yourself, I am about to see the sunrise 3 or 4 times.
At least.
Just let that sink in. You're going to see the sunrise 3 or 4 times. That's just crazy, right? So it's going to be one heck of an adventure. So, and when it's that long, I mean, obviously you're going to have many different challenges you got to deal with. You're going to have to solve many different problems.
Yeah.
and you're going to meet lots of people along the way. So to have that many people there is just going to be, I think that's going to be brilliant. Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. I just looking at the video right now behind me, it reminded me of another one of my purchases. I decided I needed to get some just cheap poles. I tried to get some poles like mine, just second-hand poles for the run, just in case something happened to my poles, right? So
this is a backup pair.
Yeah, just a backup. I'm hoping would never have to use them, but just thought, well, I'll have a cheap backup pair that'll just get me through a hole or whatever. So I try and find secondhand ones. There's a guy in Hobart put up a pair exactly like mine for secondhand, and he goes, "Oh, I see you. He looked up my profile. I see you're going to go do Delirious. That's awesome." Like, yeah. He goes, "Oh, well, I'm taking the poles in. They've got a funny thing going on with them. I'm going to take them into a running shop in Hobart called The Running Edge because they're not closing properly. I wouldn't want to sell them to you for that." And I'm like, okay. So anyway, the next day he comes back and goes, "Oh, they're actually decided they're giving me a new pair, so I'm not selling them anymore." I'm like, okay.
No.
So I buy this really cheap pair from a cheap online thing, and I'm like, that'll be fine. It comes here, and it is too cheap. I won't be, I have since bought myself another pair, which are still cheap.
Three pairs. Okay, yeah.
The problem with this one, and this is the rookie mistake, is it's not a pair. It's a one.
So, it's not.
Like people do just
you
buy
got one pole.
I'm like,
what?
Damn it. Rookie mistake. I'm just
my goodness.
rushing around shopping things at nighttime. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't think really when they're doing it. I'm like, oh yeah, like I don't know what it was, $20 or $30. It wasn't expensive. And I just went, oh no, they're red, my favourite colour. It'll be fine, and it's light. And
why would you buy one? Who sells one pole? That's extraordinary.
That's right. Anyway, so there you go.
Okay,
rookie mistake. What
you need to do? You need to give that to hubby. What's your husband's name?
Simon.
You need to give that to Simon, right? And this one pole now becomes Simon's attitude adjuster for you, right? So when you're out there and if you come in grumpy like, he can just poke you with it, right? And when the time is you're asleep, he can say, right, you've had your hour, get up and go. Perfect.
Great. Think I'm going to hide that now. But that's the other thing. Like for those of us who have to travel to get there, I actually think I need to call up but log back into my plane thing and up my luggage. Yeah. I'm thinking I might need the full 30.
Oh, well, I've already said that to Beck. Last year when we got there, packing it was, I'll tell you what, I'd be a great Tetris player. Because packing this stuff last year, you got every nook and cranny and, you're jumping on your bag to get it all squashed down. And what my concern is, I don't know whether it was your podcast, might have been yours, but I just hope the luggage turns up.
Oh, yes, we did talk about it. Like some people who, Andy and Dell, have been known when they travel and run, they pack what their essential running gear is carry-on.
Yes, and I think I might do that, especially with a backpack and maybe a pair of shoes or something, because I didn't think of it last year, and all the other NSA ones I've never thought about. Fortunately, knock on wood, it hasn't gone wrong yet. But that would ruin everything.
Be horrible, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah. So
what day are you arriving?
So we fly in on the Sunday, I think, and my beautiful friend Nick, he flies in on the Monday. We all fly into Perth.
Yeah.
So we'll stay there, obviously, Sunday night and Monday night. He gets in late Monday. And then we will all head on down along the pilgrimage from there on Monday. Tuesday morning.
On Tuesday.
Yeah. We've got a place that we're staying in Pemberton. So we'll stay there. We'll check in. We won't have too much time by the time we get there, I reckon, check in. And then go down to the race briefing and go and see the Bergen Beer Keg Run, which hopefully Simon will be representing down there.
That's what somebody asked. When is it? It's actually at the start. It's at check-in. That's when that race in the Bogan race. Shannon keeps teasing. It's
4 o'clock.
You know that very well.
The race that stops the country. So the race that stops the nation. Last year it wasn't. I don't know what happened last year. Someone was in the wrong spot. Beck came back and she told me she did like 7 or 8 kilometres because people were going everywhere. Like there was someone missed a turn and it was organised chaos. But
how far is it supposed to be?
I don't think it's supposed to be like that, but I think it just someone wasn't in their spot where they were supposed to be. In fact, everyone gave up. Beck actually came back in when Sean was talking about like actually doing the official race briefing. So she came in, already had a glass of rosé. There you go, babes. And she's come in all red and hot. And, she's in her bogan outfit and everything else. But it's good fun. Like it's just it's something that it's just a laugh, and to see the guys there spinning around beer kegs and then going and sculling a beer, and it's set up for the cruise. And the winner gets a free entry into the 200 miler.
Wow. I can imagine that some of the crew would just be like, great.
Yeah.
My husband would be like, well, what do you get for last? Is it like a...
Yeah. And I think second might get an entry into the 100 mile or something like that. So it's a great opportunity for someone. So it's a bit of fun, yeah.
That's
so hopefully Nick wins. Hopefully Nick wins this year. It'd be good to see Nick. I get to go back and crew him the next year or something. That'd be nice. So.
I don't think Simon is in the potential want to be, or I'm a crew and I want to be in the race in the future. I don't think he's, well, he could change his mind. Who knows?
And remember, he's got to wear, something bogan-like. So
he does have what we call a wife beater. What do you call it?
Got a wife beater, yeah.
Yeah, like the blue singlet thing, and he puts it on and he always goes, it's a wife beater. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Well, if you've got it, flaunt it, right? There you go.
You could bring that along. And, he does come running with me twice a week. It's not like he's not a runner. He's done a bunch of marathons, so I should stop. Oh, and he was an assassin. He was also Australian representative rower in his youth. So running was a torture for him. Running for rowers was what they do in the off season, but it's also what they did to punish them, or like it was a big part of their training, and they were all young guys full of testosterone, and it was always flat out though, and so it was always throwing up and that kind of running, not the kind of running we do at all.
Hard running. Yeah.
Gross. All right, so coming up the next few weeks, you're excited about the training you've got ahead? Now we've talked about our shopping.
Yes, I am. I've got Nick. Well, my mate Nick, who's coming to pace me. He's in Darwin. He's living in Darwin. He's moved up there, but he's actually coming down this week. He's got his 40th birthday in Melbourne.
Excellent.
Can you just hang on for one sec? Because I have got the delivery at my front door.
My dog's a
thief, so I've got to get it. Hang on, I'm putting my AirPods down.
Sorry.
We'll pause while he does that. And Stuart is back.
We're back on. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Another like this, what is it, audio platform we call podcast, because we're not doing this via video, although we could, where we open a parcel.
That's it. So for those that don't know, I told Michelle earlier, I'm expecting a delivery, and my dog is a thief, right? So we've left parcels at the door before. Well, not me, obviously, the delivery drivers. And the first time we did it, it was our work uniforms. They left little lollies in there. And he smelt them out. So he rips everything out and he tries to find the lollies. So he thinks now that the parcels are for him. So
it's got a treat.
Every time it's a race. And there we go. Look at that.
Blister wool and blister plasters.
Oh. Fix them all stretch.
Look. Oh, actually, that's another one we mentioned the other day as well. Fix them all.
What else we got? That orthopedic felt, adhesive orthopedic felt.
Oh, wow.
Which are really good, yeah.
Did
really
you
good
see they have like a blister pack? I was wondering whether to get one of their blister packs from the same website, Blister Prevention.
I did. But I actually chose the small and medium ones.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be enough. Well, hopefully. So, yeah, there you go.
That's cool.
Good stuff.
Blister stuff. All right. So I guess coming up is going to be full of testing for your new shoes, your new blister prevention methods.
It is obviously Nick's birthday this week, so I'll go for a run maybe Friday night. I'll go over Friday night to Saturday, which is a 12-hour run, then go and see him on Saturday night. He said, "Are you going to come and have a drink?" I said, "No, I won't, mate, unfortunately." So this is actually the longest I've probably ever been without a drink. By the time we get to the start, it'll be about 3 months, which is a big achievement for me. Yeah.
Wow. So, congratulations.
Yes. So that's quite good. Well, I've got to get there first, but anyway.
Mind you, that first drink after the race, you'll be like a...
Well, yeah, and also...
What is it, a 1.1?
Yeah, probably, but also it does depend on the football. Like, I don't mind a drink watching the D's play, but we'll see what happens there. My coach Brian actually is just the greatest coach you can imagine. He's fantastic and lovely old guy. He brought me around a treadmill. He said, "Have this treadmill. Here you go." So he brought it on the back of his ute and we buried it inside. So just a great guy.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really good of him. So. Thanks for that, Brian. Much appreciated, mate. And other than that, the training that's going ahead, well, I'm pretty excited for it because after this week, we slowly taper off. I mean, it might only be 6-hour runs or whatever after that. But if I can punch out a 60 to an 80K this week, I think that'll help the confidence a little bit. Yeah. If we don't get any blisters, that'll be nice. I don't know what the weather's doing. Do you know what the weather's doing this weekend at all?
Oh, I'm going hiking, as you know, and I know there's possibly some rain on Friday when we're walking to the top of a mountain. We hope
30 degrees on Saturday. Yeah. So where are you hiking?
Over near Cradle Mountain, but a place called Black Bluff. So it's near Cradle Mountain, but not quite.
And this is a 3-day hike you're doing?
It is, but it's kind of a cheater one in that it's 2 hours walk. We put the tent up and the next day, so we'll go for lunch first before we go for a hike. And then I have a bunch of retired friends who can do whatever they want. And then the next, they're all very fit though, which is good. And the next day we spend all day, probably 3 hours up and 3 hours down, walking up the mountain. Then we come back to the tent, so we wouldn't have had to carry the tent up, which is great. And then we stay the night, and then we walk out for 2 hours. So it's not like our, the 6-day one that I did the Cradle Mountain Overland Track in November. But either way, still be good training for what we're doing. And I get to lie down in a tent and sleep at night time for a lengthy period instead of what we'll be doing in Delirious.
Well, you still get to lay down, probably not for a lengthy period, but and that's perfect training because you'll be hiking so much of Delirious. That's absolutely perfect training. Yeah.
Hope so. We'll see.
How are you feeling? How's the body feeling?
It actually was feeling great. Yesterday I did a little run with some friends, and on the way back, I can feel my bursa on one behind my left knee. So, which is what the injury I got last year in my 100K run. So anyway.
Okay. That's just happened to rear its head now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to a physio. She's giving me lots of exercises for different things because you go and you sit down, you say, well, she said, what's wrong? I'm like, well, it's not one thing and nothing is acute, but it's like my shoulder, my hip, my knee, and my feet. It's like, just give me, so she gave me exercises. Because, like I said, nothing's acute except the run yesterday. There was this little, they're like, oh, ow. But, yeah, they're just strengthening exercises for each of the areas to make sure I do all that kind of stuff. So.
Heads, shoulders, knees and toes.
Exactly.
Knees and toes. Sorry for everyone that's in your head now.
The entire body. We'll be right. So I'm feeling good apart from that. Yeah. We'll see how that pans out in the next few weeks. But yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I did have a good thing talking about the long runs, that sort of stuff the other day before. I went around a golf course. I did a double run around a golf course. Oh. That's a good idea, just to change up. So I like to try and change things up. If I go on the same route all the time, it just seems longer and I struggle. I don't know what it is. So I actually met Beck there and we walked the 18 holes, did it the normal way from 1 to 18 first. There's a golf buggy track you follow, right? So you're not running across the greens, that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then I continued on my run, came back. I think I did like 16 Ks out or 17 Ks out. And then came back and then did the course in reverse. It was fantastic because the courses, they have a heap of rolling undulations as well, like you're going to get off the sand dunes, that sort of stuff, for those of us that aren't around the coast. And I thought it was a great idea. So for anyone, hit up your local golf course. And what actually worked well is like, because obviously there's a lot of golfers on the golf course, naturally.
Yeah.
So they'd be there. When you're there, the great thing is, and they have little, they look at you like, oh, yeah, let's try and hit this guy. This is like plodding around a golf course. It's like when you go to a driving range and the guy in the buggy, everyone tries to hit the guy in the buggy. All you need to say to these people, right? And I figured it out. I cracked the code, right? If you're there, you say, oh, listen, mate, am I safe here or should I stand in the fairway? Right? So he goes, oh, right. And his mates start laughing. He hits the ball. What does he do? He hits it in the woods. He hits it in the trees. Perfect. Right? Or if you're up near the hole, you say, mate, am I safe here or should I stand next to the hole? What does he do? He stuffs it again. So it's great. It gives you the upper hand. So, it's fantastic.
It sounds like golf sledging to me.
It is.
And you're not even playing.
Mental games, mate, getting in their head. That's it. Take them down one at a time.
I love it.
So, yeah.
That's
It was good. Yeah, it was good. So the only other thing I'm going to suggest quickly, if I can, is to go over your gear. The stuff you're taking between now and the next 4 or 5 weeks before you or anyone else goes to, really dial in their gear is to check over it. So the other day I found a little tear in my bag, in my running vest bag, that is. Obviously, I've ordered a new one. So, and also check the zippers because now you're putting some miles in them. As you know, they get the sweat, salt marks on them, that sort of stuff. And sometimes they can cram up and everything else. So just go over your gear, make sure everything's right because we don't have long. You don't want to leave it to 2 weeks before the event before you can buy any gear. As we know, I've just had to run out during the break to go and get my stuff from the door. So, that's probably one big tip.
I did spend a good 2 hours trying to find my old pack for that reason, to have a spare, because it was fine. It's just old, and I'd got a new one last year, which again, that is a good tip to go over and check because I have used it a lot in like the last 12 months.
And when you think about how many Ks you've used it for training runs, we're talking about hundreds.
It's crazy. Why are we doing that? That's a lot, like my brain is like, what? That's a lot of running.
So you were saying about the bag, yeah?
Yeah. What was I saying about my bag? Mostly I wasn't sure whether I needed to buy a new one per se. Maybe I do. I don't know. I probably won't though, because I'll probably just use my secondhand one. Yeah, well, it did. That's one of the things I was going to say because it was funny. It took me 2 hours to find out that I had put it in the box, which is just over there with all my running stuff. I looked at all the places that, I put my running things and then went, oh, it's not in any of those places. I wonder what I did with it. And then I'd actually had put it in this new spot that I've got right here where I'm putting all the new stuff I'm gathering, for this.
Because you won't forget about it if you put it there.
Yeah. Which I totally did. Anyway, I had also thought about grabbing my daughter's one from Melbourne because we're going there on the way.
Are you?
Yeah, and she's got one the same as mine, but she's probably used hers has been pretty well used as well. So anyway, okay, I did think about.
So what day are you flying? What day are you arriving? Okay, so what day are you flying into Melbourne?
We get there on the 2nd because I don't know if we told you I've got going to a concert on the 2nd in Melbourne, going to Cyndi Lauper. So it was given to me for my birthday by my kids.
Girls just want to have fun. There you go.
Because I used to regale my children, because I'm older than most of you that I talk to on the podcast. I used to regale my children about going to a school social when I was in year 10, dressed as Cyndi Lauper because they had a dress-up one and it was the year that girls just want to have fun was pretty. And so that stuck in their head that obviously, Mum, I was trying to show how cool I was.
Yeah.
And so now they think I like Cyndi Lauper plenty, but so now I'm going to a Cyndi Lauper concert.
Yeah.
It just happens to be, a week before our event. So I'm going to stay in Melbourne. There's no point coming home because otherwise then I'll just have to fly back to Melbourne to fly to Perth. There's no direct flights at that time of year from Launceston.
That's good.
So
that's good. We might even be able to catch up and have a little run together then.
That would be fun.
So Cyndi
for the
Lauper,
Monday, by the way.
Yeah, so
I arrive in Perth on Monday.
Okay, where is she playing?
One of those places down near the MCG. Yeah, it might be Rod Laver, down near the MCG, somewhere there.
Okay, yeah. Fantastic. Oh, that's good. There you go.
Can't see you read it from here. It's too far away. So I'll be in Melbourne for 5 days or 6 days before we fly out on the Monday.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. That's exciting.
But we're picking up the camper, so we'll just slowly start travelling over that way. And we're staying for the night in Pemberton like you on the Tuesday night.
Oh, you got accommodation there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Oh, exciting.
Yeah,
good.
So that's our plan. Anyway, we'll speak to you again before we leave. So,
yep.
See how
one more.
This...
We got one more, don't we? One more before we.
Yes.
She was.
And then another one after it. See how it all wrapped up. All the gory details.
Hang in there, bodies. We're nearly there. Hang in there. Come on.
We can do this. Yeah. This is fun. This is what we call fun.
Oh well, here we go.
This will be fun.
Shoulders, knees and toes.
I love the way we've all come at it from, chosen a different path to get there. Like none of us have the same journey to the start line. And I know there'll be people listening to the podcast who are also training, doing the same as us, but they're not doing the same as us because we're all doing slightly different. So it's lovely, though, to be able to go along in the journey with everyone, including everyone listening, before we hit the start line. So thanks for being part of it, and thanks for sharing today. Awesome.
More than welcome. Thanks for having me.
Feels like the shopping episode. All right, Stuart, I will talk to you in a few weeks. Good luck with your training. And thank you for sharing all that goodies with us. It's been great, including your shopping. It's wonderful.
More than welcome. Cheers.
And that's a wrap for another Delirious West athlete update. A huge thank you to the athletes for sharing their journeys, and to you, our listeners, for joining us on this delirious adventure. Remember, it's not just about the finish line. It's about the journey, the community, and the moments that keep us moving forward. Keep rooting for our runners and tune in for next month's check-ins to see how their training is unfolding. If you're enjoying this series, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends. Let's all get a little delirious together. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode or an update. Connect with us on the website, on Facebook, or on Instagram. And we'd love to hear your stories and support you on your running journey. Stay strong, stay motivated, and keep pushing your limits. Until next time.